Hello, Audioholics. This is Logan, and welcome back to Audioholic Reviews on Audioholic Anonymous. Today, we will be taking a look at the new Eyehategod album, History of Nomadic Behavior. And speaking of nomadic behavior, I hate Tyler.
What's going on, guys? Today we bring to you the worst album of the year. Just kidding. This was a great album.
Yeah.
I honestly, I was not expecting this, but I think Logan liked it a bit more than I did.
Yeah.
I gave, I guess we can talk about this later, but I gave the final score for this album, an 8.5.
Yeah.
And the main reason for that is I feel like it's really great, but it's not a masterpiece. And the main reason for that is, okay, think of an album like Titans of Creation by Testament, or really any Testament album after they came back, so after the Gathering. When Testament puts out a new album, do you expect that album to be like the new best thrash album of all time? Do you expect it to have Tornado of Souls 2 on it or something like that? No. When a Testament releases a new album now, it's a solid 8, 9 out of 10 album every time, consistently, because it's just a good 45 minutes to an hour dose of thrash metal genius from people who know how to write thrash metal songs. That is essentially how I view Eyehategod. They have consistently put out sludge records that, outside of Take As Needed for Pain, have never gotten above a 9 for me. It's always just a consistently great time, and that's kind of where this album falls too. It's not going to blow your mind. It's not going to be like the next big thing. That we're not going to, this isn't even going to touch the top 5 albums of the year. It might not even get on my list at all. But it is a solid, consistently good experience the whole time through. If you need something brutal and ugly and slow and heavy to listen to, this is your album. Like I said, it's not going to blow your mind, but it'll give you what you're looking for. And that's pretty much true of every single individual category. The vocals, it's exactly what you'd expect from an Eyehategod album. Instrumentals, maybe a little bit better than usual this time around. I was able to point out more riffs that made me want to pick up my guitar and play than like throughout their discography. Even in Take As Needed for Pain, actually. Like in this particular section, I'd say it's maybe a bit better than that album, which isn't something I say lightly. Songwriting, again, it's not going to blow your mind, but if what you're looking for is what this album is, then you're going to have a fun time. And so that's why I give it an 8.5 out of 10.
So, first of all, let me just say that if you have seen my Rolling Drones on the Take As Needed for Pain album, because that was on the Rolling Stones top 100 metal albums of all time, you will know that I really did not like that album. I really didn't like... I just thought it was, quite honestly, just noise that really went nowhere, and it was just kind of shock value for the sake of shock value. And then I listened to this album, and quite honestly, it just clicked, I think. It clicked for me. So first of all, they were hyping this up as their heaviest album they've ever done. It's super unique, don't get me wrong, but if you're going into this expecting something heavier or more raw than Take As Needed for Pain, I'm sorry, you're going to be disappointed. This is pretty par for the course, I would say, from what I have heard from this band. That being said, though, this is a really good album. Again, this has officially kind of turned me on to not only Eyehategod, but kind of this sort of style of, I guess you could say, like hardcore doom punk almost. If we are going by the critics' metric that this is the most heavy Eyehategod album ever put out, it is a bit of a disappointment. But if we are taking that out of the equation, I think this is a really solid album.
Yeah.
Riffs are the highlight for sure, as they are with all I Hate God material that I have heard up to this point. The problem with this, as with all that I have heard, is that it does kind of tend to drag a little bit with songs kind of blending together. I know I said that there is variety, but there's not much. I would say that you can kind of listen to one song off of this album and have a pretty good idea of what the album is going forward. It doesn't necessarily matter like what order you listen to the songs in, for example.
Yeah.
Um that being said though, again, like I listened to it once while I was with Tyler, and then I listened to it again on my own, and it clicked to me, and I really like this style of music and kind of see these guys now as almost a bit of an influence to me. So I did give it an 8.3, but I increased my personal rating from a 7.5 to an 8.5. And as a result of that, my score is now up to an 8.5, matching Tyler.
Oh,
So
exactly
that
the
would
same
give
now.
our average 8.5.
There you go.
The
Yeah,
official
I don't
AMU
know.
meter of 8.5.
This album did not really impact me as much as I was hoping it did. Like, I remember when I first heard it, Take Is Needed for Pain, the first time, that was a mind-blowing experience. Like, I'd never heard anything like it before, and to this day I've never heard anything that captures that sort of
Well, I think the riffs
dirty,
on this
ugly
album are
feel.
better. That's
I
fair.
agree, and I did say that earlier, but I think like that album captures a certain mood that even this one doesn't really. I don't know. It just didn't impact me the same way. But yeah.
Well, perhaps it impacted you, the viewer. If it did, please leave a comment down below. And until next time, we bid you
Audio
audio 2.
do. Bye
Bye, everyone.
bye.